I just crossed the property line, and I know I've had several people ask for me to document what it's like to come to camp. It used to be a much bigger ordeal. When I would arrive, I'd have to set up a tent and think about my food prep, but now all of this is pretty easy because I've got the doghouses. So the only thing that's unusual today is I need to go find a piece of cardboard because this dually still has a leak in the rear main seals, and that makes it prone to dripping oil as soon as I shut the engine off. So just to catch the loose oil, and then after that, it'll be pretty normal. I'll set my bags in my room, check the electric, put my food away, and that's it. But this is camp. We got the dozer up here, which isn't totally normal, but we back in. All right, let's go get some cardboard. There's not really much to do. I got to drive up to where I got to drop all this stuff off. I'm going to just set up camp and get my food put away, just basic stuff. Let's go put the agave where we need it, and that way we don't pick it up twice. All right. I want to show everybody this agave you dug up because it's crazy.
Yeah, go ahead.
How long did this take you, Chris?
Probably about 2 hours with a friend.
Okay, well, that's actually not nearly as bad as I thought, but you should have said 10, 12 hours. Chris is just like breaking a sweat, working hard.
Oh yeah, it wasn't that bad, but they were just so awkward. That's why it took us so long. Since they're so big, it's hard to get a shovel.
Yeah, they're gigantic. So this is Agave Salmiana, which is one of the agave that I really want. This is used in the Mexican project for 1 billion agave. I'm really excited because it's what one of the agave specialists recommended to me. I came across this big stash of agave from joining different Facebook groups. In this case, it was West Texas Xeriscaping. And I got connected with Gami, who was giving away all this agave, and it just so happened to be the particular type of agave that I'm most interested in, Agave Salmiana. But just finding the agave is not enough because in this case, Gami needed it dug out, and Chris very graciously volunteered to dig it out and bring it with him on this trip. So I'm very grateful to Chris for not just coming out to help on the ranch, but digging up some of that agave so we could give it a new place to live. When we bring the final batch of the Agave Salmiana out to Dustups, we're going to plant it on the terrace that Brandon has started prepping, where we've put horse manure and clay, and very soon we'll be adding biochar and getting our agroforestry system going. Let's see if we can't get it out of Chris's bed so he can sleep tonight.
Towards this way, right?
Yeah. So keep going, keep going.
That one?
Yeah. Straight ahead now.
Yeah, it feels pretty nice right now.
Look at the temperature.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be this hot. Driving in, it was 100, and it's the end of September.
Yeah, right now it's saying 97.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty close to what my weather station says. I think it said it was 95, 94. Just ridiculously hot for this time of year. If we only got here 20 or 30 minutes earlier, you would have been able to see all of this in the daylight. But this is the terrace. Pull up a little bit more and stop. This would be the best place to unload.
Yeah, they're steeper than the camera shows.
Yeah?
Oh, 100%. This is way steeper than I thought.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
It'll make more sense just to set it next to the fence. Yeah, and that way we don't have to worry about getting zapped. This guy. Good. There we go. And mesquite. Whoa. And tomorrow we'll come back and we will plant some agave. Now I just need to unload my truck, which will not take very long. It's scorching hot in here. We do get bats and mice and lots of moths, so I wanted that screen to be in place. I'll get my bag, and that's really all I need. What I want to do is check the power and see how we're doing. 13.2, so about a 70% charge, maybe 65. But doing okay. That's disgusting. Yeah, I'm changing the sheets. That's why I bring extra. Luckily, that's the advantage of that plastic sheet. This is nice for me because I basically live out here part-time. 25% of my time I'm on the ranch. You know, I really appreciate people like Chris coming out. And although I know he's thrilled to sleep in the truck and see the dark sky and the Milky Way, which, by the way, this is an official dark sky, and the astronomy out here is amazing. But nonetheless, I would like to get this place a little more advanced to where I have private space to offer guests because, well, I like having people out here and I would like to treat them better. Fill up the water. I gotta get my dinner going. This is my new shower, which Daniel made for me. I mentioned it in an earlier episode, but for those that don't know, Daniel's now working part-time for Dustups. So your support of the sponsors is what's making stuff like this possible. We still got to anchor this and make a few more changes, but that's awesome. We got to do the door, but that's fantastic. It's roomy. Daniel made a nice little pad. This way we can take an actual proper shower. It's always a treat to get my wife and kids all out here, so everything I can do to add to the creature comforts. And I know Daniel was thinking the exact same thing, as if we've got little amenities like a shower and not having to be cold while you take a shower. It makes getting the ladies out here much more possible. And we recently moved this cistern back near camp, which was just a no-brainer. It's such an irritation driving a quarter mile for water. I thought it was better for the terraces. Well, it was better when I put it there because that's where I thought I was going to build a sandbag cabin. But as soon as I realized that's never going to happen, let's just stop the fiction and put water where it's best suited.
Yeah, if you need any help or anything, just let me know.
Okay.
I'll be in the back of my truck.
You won't be terribly hard to find? Good morning, everybody. We're going to go take care of the agave before the sun really gets going. I just need to get all the stuff on my belt. The main thing that I wear if I'm working, I really don't like being completely armed, but pepper spray still makes me feel safe. And at least I have something. That way I don't have to worry about banging weapons on a rock and all the stuff that goes with carrying a pistol. For work stuff, I try to wear the secateurs on my right hip. It's exactly like a holster, and I seem to use them all the time, especially if I'm going to be up on the terrace. Utility knife or pocket knife isn't quite as important, or my multi-tool isn't important, but that does remind me that I do want one other tool, which is my box cutter, because I use that constantly. And then since I made iced coffee last night, I set that in the freezer about 20 minutes ago just to give it a little chill. That way I can add some ice and I can be properly motivated. And now that I'm ready to head out the door, it's time for footwear. And if I'm going to put on footwear, I need Bombas while I do it. When you're walking around all day long, your feet swell, they get a little grumpy, but by wearing compression socks, I just don't think about my feet, and that's the best case scenario. That's all thanks to Bombas, the sponsor of today's episode. I wear compression socks as often as I have a clean pair out here because they make such a huge difference. Bombas makes great products, whether it's the merino wool shirt that I wear out here constantly. I really enjoy this shirt because it breathes so well. The merino wool is really effective as both an insulator and a cooler. Whether it's the middle of the summer or howling wind in the winter, this is the shirt that I want to have on because it's the best thermal protection. And like with every Bombas product, everything's very well thought out. I've just had the best experience with Bombas products, and I think you're going to have the same experience. If you've never worn Bombas before, today is the day to fix that. Go to bombas.com/dustups and use the promotion code Dustups20 to take 20% off of your first order. Again, that link is bombas.com/dustups and use the promotion code Dustups20 to take 20% off of your first order. Grab more gloves. I just wanted to see where the willow is and how it's doing. And is that willow?
Desert willow.
Those, oh yeah, that's looking good.
Right there, you can see roots trying to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple more days.
Yeah, and that's the right amount of water too. I think we probably should just use the meat water for the cactus and the nearby mulch area. And then Chris is ready to go. Him and I are going to go plant. He brought some really big agave that he dug up in Midland. Not gonna lie, those agave over there are looking pretty cool.
And I'm most definitely gonna bring you some more to make up for the ones that might not make it.
Let's start with getting the electricity turned off so we don't zap ourselves. Let's use this as more of a potting soil rather than oh, that's why it was so expensive. It's pistachio shell biochar. We'll get more mileage out of this putting it on the terrace so it spreads. I'll just stand on the other side and you can hand them to me and then we'll
All right.
And I got hooks so that I'll be able to make this a gate instead of just climbing under, which is really, I'm sure you realize, not fun. I'm so excited about that one. Oh man, too bad. I don't see root.
Yeah, I soaked them for a day, like just the bottoms of them.
Right?
In a wheelbarrow.
Oh, sweet. We can come back and give it rooting hormone. We've been making willow water, which is trying to get willow cuttings to, they're not really a willow, but trying to get them to send out new roots. And I think it's really unlikely to work from the agave, but rooting hormone is so cheap that it would be silly not to try it. Since that one is so awkward, since this one's so heavy, I'm just gonna walk it down. Do I got it? Yep. This thing is so heavy. And you said you got the machete down there?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me show you the agave that we've transplanted before.
Yeah, it's the ones that are pretty much native around here too, right?
Yeah.
Got you.
And the vermiculite's down here? All right. So we'll start with this one. I dug this up with an auger just a couple weeks ago, so hopefully it shouldn't be too hard. Just trying to be gentle on this. This wood doesn't feel like it's much longer for this world. "25 pounds was the recipe for the original terrace, so I'm not going to add too much. And what's nice is we got the water hose right here, so as soon as Brandon irrigates tonight, we'll be able to just give these a really good drink.
And they've had a good boost too from when I soaked them.
Good.
Because the ones that I knew weren't going to make it, they were already yellow and we stayed green.
Man, look at that. That's great. Dig in here where I've got a lot of biochar. The sand's clearly wet. That's a good sign.
If you had to guess how long this will take you, your total vision.
Oh my gosh, I'll be doing this the rest of my life. I will, but I mean, it's fine. Like, it's super satisfying walking down, especially that part of the terrace where it's so green. It almost feels like, oh, I can kind of feel like what this is gonna feel like next year.
I feel like the hardest part is just getting it started.
It is absolute, dude. This in April was just that, like right behind you. It was the exact same. And it's just pouring resources over and over and over again between like finding this yucca and finding the wood chips and finding the seeds and just going nuts, like pouring everything that we could find into this one little spot. And now maybe if I can keep the cows off it, we have a foothold. This may not need too much because it's already pretty wet, but that's a little too much biochar. There we go. Okay, needs to get water tonight, so
Just see if you want to throw the peppers or if you want to leave them in a.
we'll just pile them up in a spot, and that way all the moisture goes in one spot. And we want the birds to find it easy because there's seeds in there, aren't there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So, too many seeds.
yeah. Let the birds go to town. These peppers smell so good, Chris.
Really? I got tired of smelling them.
Wow. So cool. Man, they smell good. Chris, that hole you dug, you want to plant a mesquite? And that one we'll want right next to an emitter just to make absolutely sure that we get it going. That mesquite has its best chance to work here. It's not supposed to grow in gravelly soil, but I mean, that one's pretty well started. So we'll plant that and then I'll come by and just prune it. Let's put it in between all of the agave if we can. And obviously it's not established, so if you disturb it, whatever. Because this will give it, we want to have it for every 3 agave, we want 1 mesquite. Man, maybe this isn't going to be enough to bother cooking. There's no piña yet. You basically peel it like an onion until you can't peel it anymore.
I'm assuming it's like a harder palm.
Yeah, yeah, very similar. But we'll just put this in your truck and see how it goes. Oh, this looks so good, man. These are pretty well established, so this is probably like enough to make it a worthwhile experiment without, you know, spending a day on something that isn't working or... Here, if you hold that, I'll pass me the shovel. Sweet. Love seeing wet dirt out here. It's crazy. And it's not bad to have this little depression here.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking about that. It'll help hold water too.
Yeah, just a little bit more.
Especially from the rain.
Yep. Right.
I thought we had 3 bags.
Yeah.
I lost my mind.
Deep enough?
I think so, yeah. Let's go get breakfast. Whoops. Brandon's wrapping up the work on the beaver dam analogs ahead of an upcoming visit from NRCS, where they will be judging our work before they decide whether we have earned our pay or not. Josh has been emailing me for a while with the intention to come out to Dustups, and his schedule just didn't align with mine. And because he really wanted to come out to the ranch, he decided to come out even when I wasn't there to help Brandon. This footage that Josh shot I thought was so interesting because it captures Dustups from a view that I'll never be able to capture again, which is what the ranch looks like to a fresh pair of eyes. I tend to film from the same spots and the same angles, but having Josh run a camera without me there, I think it's the best way for me to share with you what it's like to arrive and to be on Dustups when you've never been there before. It's a great way for you, the viewer at home, to experience the ranch, but from your couch, from your phone.
All right, well, I'm at Dustups Ranch. Arrived, everything went well. We can do a little walk up the hill here. A little scan around the campground here. Car over there. Brandon is flying his drone, looking for cattle. Everything out here is pokey. Literally every single thing out here is just out to kill you. Lots of cattle out here. I'm guessing there's tons of rattlesnakes, and apparently there's lots of jackrabbits, and there's some rare forms of deer out here too. Apparently some have like escaped from some of the fancy ranches for hunting, and they started breeding out in this area. Did some work today, helped to start a BDA, or a beaver dam analog. Check that out. So there's the camp down there. There's the mountains in the background. So cool. Brandon was not lying. This view is amazing up here. Absolutely amazing. Up over the hill here, that's the Rio Grande down in that valley. And on the other side is Mexico and a whole bunch of land that is owned by the cartels. So apparently it's a little dangerous. The cartels didn't ask for that land, they just took it. I'm gonna do some more work tomorrow for Sean with Brandon. Hopefully we'll get a couple BDAs in. We're hoping to have some steaks tonight, so we're gonna get a wood fire. So that's kind of fun. Just having a good time. Thanks for coming along. Okay, so here we are descending into the canyon there. Let's see if I can get a better shot. This is the rough spot. I was probably
Normally, Brandon builds the BDAs, the beaver dam analogs, entirely on his own. Sourcing the material is usually a significant percentage of the job. The best source of the material is deep in Cottonwood and Oxford Canyons, but we don't have access, not directly from the property. Instead, Brandon drives into the canyon from Oxford Canyon Road and then drives up to the canyon to get to the stuff that I own. And in the parts where I own, there are a couple of native stands of desert willow, which is by far the best material for building these BDAs. It grows quickly, it's flexible, it's of course organic and renewable. So we can go into the canyon, grab the willow that we need that doesn't have any thorns to bite, poke, or stab us, and then go use that to build BDAs. So even after he drags all of that desert willow to the location of each BDA and then spends the time weaving it, the next big chore is to gather dirt from nearby and to pack it into the dam so that all that material is glued together.
All right, so we've collected a bunch of these willow boughs, hauled them up in the truck here from way over that way, and now we're trying to drag them with these straps down that direction. Pretty fun so far. A lot of hard work, a lot of manual labor, all part of the deal. All right, here comes Brandon. We gotta interweave them all in here.
Since I'm usually by myself, it's nice to have some proof I actually do anything.
No, I mean, you did a good job with all those there.
I gotta improve my drag because I'm gonna feel that badly.
When I woke up last night, I couldn't go back to sleep because my thumb kept twitching. And I was like, why the heck is my thumb twitching like crazy? And it's from this thing. I was like, yeah, from holding on to it while it's like vibrating and shaking all around, pounding these in. This is looking really good. I mean, I'm gonna guess this will back up a decent amount of water once we get this filled in.
Once we pour some dirt on it, maybe shove some grass end too, I think. It's hard to see through, but I know water would go through.
Yeah.
But that's a whole bed load just about. Maybe not. That's as much as we brought in yesterday. Now, please yourself, but I only like to fill it up about halfway, so it's not a killer to get it up on my knee and get it dumped where I need it. I'd like to do that. Get a pump on, but it'll lay me out.
Did you check how hot it was? It's roasting. I'm tempted to maybe just go back, get some work done, and then maybe come back this evening when it's a little cooler. I ran, I think, maybe 6 loads up and down, or 6 or 7. Man, it's like, that is back-breaking work, dude.
That's why it needs to be, if I can tweak it any little bit.
Yeah, I got you. I totally get it now. I mean, that is like brutal. And then the shoveling, you're shoveling on like, you're not just shoveling dirt, you're shoveling through rocks. Yeah. And then you got to lift that whole thing up.
There's a big learning curve on shoveling if you haven't been
I watched
on the totem pole very often.
I kind of figured out you want to slide it across the top more than dig straight in.
You can really get tired before you learn that, in my experience. I never count it. I just go until it looks like I'm done.
I think we've probably done about 8 to 10 now on this one here so far. Oh, there's dust everywhere.
The stuff's long.
I just threw them into the ditch. They're a little easier down there.
Not too bad.
Yeah, the shoulder strap was a good move.
Oh yeah, that little 550 was just kind of my hand.
Yeah.
If you like the work that I'm doing and you'd like to see more of it, the best way is to directly fund the planting. So far, viewers have covered about 2/3 of the cost of directly planting the terrace where Chris and I were planting the agave. And there's still about 1/3 of that linear footage that hasn't been covered by viewers. If you'd like to chip in, you can go to the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen. That'll take you to an order page where, if you'd like, you can make a contribution. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.